Hi, my name is Rudy and I'm about to show you some simple, very basic body maintenance exercises. And why do I want to show these? Because they have been tremendously helpful for me, and a couple of friends also have benefited greatly. So I think there's people out in the world who might actually like these too. So that's why I want to share them. Okay, what happened with me? I broke both my heel bones. The right was shattered and I couldn't walk for 10 weeks. What happened? My body decided it didn't want to stand on the right anymore, so it lifted it up. I got a scoliosis, piriformis syndrome in the butt, and pseudosciatica radiating down my leg. Very debilitating. I mean, I was crippled. And these exercises are the main thing that helped me through it. I had other help too, but yeah, these exercises have been great. So I want to share some of that. And if you want to do them too, be careful. You're responsible, of course, but I think anybody can do them safely. I would teach them to my grandmother. So that said, let's start with the first exercise, and I'll talk some more later. The first exercise was my hip, because it was out of whack. Chiropractor was surprised to see me after 2 weeks that everything was back in balance after just doing this exercise for 2 weeks. So, and it's a very simple. We're going to be moving the hip all the way up, alternating left and right. So there we go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I usually count till 20 doing this. Just 10 repetitions, that's all this needs. And there's no stretching, there's no holding, there's just simple movement through the range of motion that you've got. So if you can only move a little bit on one side, then you just do that. But to keep it symmetrical. Okay, we're going to go right away to the second exercise that helped my scoliosis. Feet a little bit apart, arms on the shoulders because they don't do anything. And then we're going to just gently move to the left. 1, 2. So if you can only go a little bit like this on the left, you go also a little bit on to the right. You keep it symmetrical. So, but you use the motion, the range of motion that you've got. So if you can do the whole thing, you just do the whole thing. Just gentle pace. There's no stretching. Also be careful with pain, and just go through the range of motion that you've got. 10 repetitions, that's all there is. So from here on we go up the spine. So the next exercise is the higher spine. It's just going up and down like this. A good friend of mine who was around, he did these are the spine exercises. He was complaining that he had a bad back and he'd seen the chiropractor, didn't help him, spent $1,000 on the chiropractor, didn't help him. He did these spine exercises for a few months, and lo and behold, he's got a strong back. So next one is the neck. Just left to right. The motion that you've got. Another friend had neck problems. So with the neck exercises, after 1 week she called me up and said, hey, come show my friends. she wanted everybody to know about these exercises. So anyway, I think they're useful and they're very simple, and you don't have to do each and every one. If there's exercises that you say, that doesn't work for me, then just don't do that one. That's just fine. And you can also design your own later on. So that is the spine in one direction. Now we're going to do the spine in the other direction. And for that, we're going to lift our arms above our head, and we're going to just lean backwards, opening up the front and then opening up the back. So it's going through the whole range of motion, curving the whole spine, being a little careful walk, leaning backwards, don't go too far, but forward you can just really curl your spine. And I do these exercises every night, but I don't have time for all the exercises every night, so then I just do the few that are the most important to me. Okay, and next one is the last of the spine routine, so that makes 6. And for that we have our feet out under an angle a little bit. I find it easiest to put my hands on my hip this way, facing down, and we're going to go rotating all the way gently. And especially here, there's no bouncing, there's no swinging, there's just positive movement. And so you're looking all the way backwards, as far as you can go with your left. You look as far over your shoulder as you can, so that the whole spine participates. And if you want, you can focus on the top of your sternum here as moving through space. That is a nice addition. Okay, that completes the spine exercises, and then we have a choice. We can, in the group that I'm leading, we either go up or down. So meaning we go the arm exercises or we do the legs. We start with the leg exercises. For that I usually use a chair, and let's see, yes, there we go. Because these are also not balancing exercises. Balancing exercises are great, but these are not balancing exercises. So you may have to tuck your pants up a little bit if they're tight, and then it's just keep the knee bent, the toes are curled, and move it backwards while you keep standing straight up. It's a little funny when I do these exercises and I hit the right spot, I start burping. I can't help it. It's just a release of energy, so you have to excuse me for that. But other than that, and this is just to stay in line. And again, just 10 repetitions total. And you can count to 20 if you do the extremes. Okay, and then always do the other side too. Same way. See, I really can't stop that burping. Okay, so that was one for the hip. We have another one for the hip, and that is the sideways move. Now do them in 2 dimensions. So it goes sideways, but your body stays like that. So I usually stand in a chair like that. You see, my body doesn't really, I try not to turn. I mean, I could do, that's not the point. You just try to stay, really do the perpendicular motion. That's the idea of this one. And again, with this one, there's no swinging, or no bouncing, or how do you call it? Just moving. There's always a little bit of that, but you try to go just positive movement through the range of motion that you've got. And then again, the left. And the reason why I think these exercises work is because you actually train your voluntary, you use your voluntary muscles to train the involuntary muscles. But let's talk about that a little later. So the next one is rotating the foot. And I think your foot needs to be off the ground for this. Just keep rotating. Just the range of motion that you've got. Okay. And then the left. Okay. Then sometimes I do the knee. This one I easily leave out, but you can just do your knee too. It's actually, I think it really works for me too, but it's, yeah. So the involuntary muscles are your posture muscles, and you cannot really change those by will. But by going through this range of motion that you've got, those muscles are actually reset. That's how I feel it works for me. That's not very scientific, but that's my understanding of how it works. You're resetting your posture. Okay, that's the knee. Now comes to another core exercise. This one was very a breakthrough for me when I found this one. I was starting getting less tired from standing. So this is rotating the foot in and out. I hope this is visible. So pronating and its opposite. Just rolling your foot in and out. In the beginning I could do this only laying on bed. I could not do it standing, but after a few weeks I could do it standing. And this is the exercise that made me really less tired. Within days I noticed I started getting less tired, and it has been very good for me. That must be about 10. Okay, next, heels and toes as I call this. Up on the heels, on the toes, curling the toes. Okay, that's it for the lower body routine, and that's where my main problems was. But since then I also worked with a shoulder routine and an arm routine, and that has been beneficial too. So the first one is embrace yourself, or you can say love yourself. So arms all the way back, and then embrace yourself. All shoulders all the way forward. The focus is on the shoulders. And the arms cross alternatingly. Left over right, right over left. Okay, that was one shoulder. There's three or four exercises. Shoulder may be the most complex joints. I think we have 4 shoulder exercises. Next one is, and we keep the arms bent because it's easier. Stay in plane, move the arms all the way back, and again all the way back. So this circle here. I feel my hands touching, that's all right, I think. I don't try to. I feel like they should ideally stay in plane, but it's hard to keep them in plane behind your head. Maybe if you have a mirror, you can see yourself and it works, but okay. And then there's one more in the other direction. Again, it's easier with your arms bent. Okay, that's 3 for the shoulder, and the 4th one is actually for the whole arm, but it starts with the shoulder, and it's, you focus on the pink and your thumb, and you just rotate all the way one way and all the way the other way, focusing on your pinkies and your thumbs. Your arms don't have to be forward, they can be down or on the side, whatever you feel like. This is a good exercise for me, I'm burping a lot. Okay, and next one I often leave out, but if this works for you, you just do it, or just leave it out. It's very simple, bending the elbows. These exercises seem sometimes too simple to be true, that they can be so beneficial, but I know from my own experience and heard from others, they really work. And the bigger your problems, the bigger your potential benefit. If you have no problems, well, then you're blessed. You don't need to do anything. You can just, but if you have some issues, these could be very helpful. So that's the elbow. Then we do the fingers. I'm not fully clear on the wrist. Maybe there's other exercises for the wrist. You could do something like this, but it doesn't really fit within these exercises, making little 8s. But it doesn't really fit within this routine, but it's a good exercise. You could do something like this maybe. But I've done with the fingers because I had some hand work, and then this is a good one. Again, just 10 repetitions. Okay, and then we have 2 more, and this is without the thumbs. The thumbs are not doing. We do the thumbs separately because it's a different joint. It's quite different, I feel. So we're training or resetting or working with these finger muscles, and then we do the thumb later. There, that's the thumb exercise. Very simple. Okay, that's it. That's for the exercise routine, and I want to end with 2 recommendations. This is all movement. Another great book on movement exercises is P.T. Gosky's Pain Free. That's just a simple title of the book, Pain Free by P.T. Gosky. It's a great book. I loved it, and I think you would love this too. And another one is that has been very helpful for me over the years is saveyourself.ca as a website. It's a massage therapist turned science journalist, and he writes great stuff on body stuff, especially for runners. It's a great site, I think. Okay, thank you for watching.